My name is Bob McIlvaine, and I'm going to be telling you this afternoon about our industrial valves report. And it is a report that we've had available and updated on a continuing basis for several decades now. And it's grown in scope, and certainly our knowledge of the valve market has continued to grow. We do a lot of private consulting as well in this space. And so the standard multi-client report reflects a lot of this additional expertise and knowledge that we are exposed to with our consulting. So this is the industrial valves report, and it's a combination really of a Excel spreadsheet with up to 685,000 forecasts on it, as well as a combination of analyses in a website that has information on every industry and has webinars and other analyses and so forth, and actually is thousands of pages in length. So the basic report, which is $3,900, has 293,000 forecasts. But we've just come up now with a more extensive analysis to add the performance or service segments, and so we now have 685,000 forecasts, and that adds $1,000 to the cost. So you'll be up to $4,900 if you get the complete package with the 685,000 forecasts. The online analyses on the website include market shares for hundreds of valve companies, which is updated regularly. There's a networking directory with information on valve companies all over the world. We even have a numerical identification number for every valve company and for every OEMs, so that if it's a Chinese company name, for instance, it has a numerical definition, enumeration, so we don't get confused. And there are updates of a lot of these things on a continuing basis. Certainly every month there's a number of updates. And we have a separate analysis of each industry in the report. So you've actually got hundreds of different pages on the industries. And then we do recorded in industries interviews and also recorded webinars. So there's a lot of recordings up there that you can watch. So the basic report now has the 293,000 valve forecasts, and that's by application, valve type, function, and year for 80 countries for 9 years, including the 4 previous and 5 next. And they're all in standard dollars, so you can see the trends. And here are the different types of valves: ball, butterfly, check, gate, globe, industrial plug, other, and safety relief. And in the basic report, we have the total valve forecast, but we also have forecasts just for the control valves and just for the isolation valves. Now, in the expanded report, we also divide the performance by general, severe, critical, and unique. General valves are the general category of service, relies a lot on price and delivery and less on performance. Severe service, of course, has got corrosion, temperature, and all sorts of other abrasion and other severe service aspects. Critical would be things like pharmaceutical and food and others, where you have needs for highly pure, hygienic service. And there are some other critical service types as well. And then unique service would be For instance, if you have a very large valve, you're not going to have those in stock, and those often are built, cast, or constructed to the design of the user. So that is another category. So those are the four additional categories. And when you combine that with the control and the isolation valves in all these different countries and applications and so forth, you come up with 85,000 forecasts. And this is provided in an Excel spreadsheet. I'll show you an example in a minute. And then is updated continually throughout the year. And you do get these forecasts in each of these different industries: the chemical, food, iron and steel, metals, mining, oil and gas, upstream, midstream. You've got refining down at toward the bottom there, so that rounds that out. And then you do have petrochemicals. And then you've also got other industries, other electronics, pharmaceutical, power, of course, the petrochemical, pulp and paper, refining, semiconductor, wastewater, which is municipal wastewater, and water. And these forecasts are all based on the trends that we see. And here's some examples. For instance, our trends for the U.S. built on some of these assumptions that and observations that we believe would be relevant. So that is the way the forecasts go together. So we're going to show you in a minute a sample Excel spreadsheet displayed from the same price page, description page that where you've found this particular dissertation. And then this is the video tour of the actual report along with this preliminary discussion. So we'll get into the actual report in a minute. And then there is a potential to expand the report to include all the niche markets important to an individual supplier. And so we have a whole program really that is built around this, and it's called our most profitable market support services. And there's a link to this on the page as well. And, I'm Bob McIlvaine, and I'm glad to answer any of your questions. And here's my email and phone number. Now, but what we're going to do is leave this particular page that is also displayed as a PowerPoint on the website, and then we're going to go into the Excel spreadsheet. So we'll end this display here, end the show, and then we're going to pull up this Excel spreadsheet. And the maybe a little harder for you to see here, but the over on the left-hand side here, you have on-off valves. Now, there's actually 7 different categories here because it could be isolation, they can be total, they could be general performance, severe service, and so forth. You have all these different industries. This happens to be for chemical. And you've got the different ball types, valve types. Here it happens to be ball, which is one of 8 of them. And then you've got the continents, and then you've got the regions within the continents, and then you've got the countries. And in some cases, you have a few small countries looped together in a subcategory. So you're going to have not only Denmark as a separate country here, but you're going to have Luxembourg and Monaco lumped into other Western Europe. So you can get a total Western Europe number here. So, and even though there are only 80 entities totally in each region, we do lump these small countries together. And I'm sure most of the users don't want separate numbers for Luxembourg and Monaco and 200 different countries and to review. And then here are the forecasts for those ball valves just in the chemical industry for the previous years and then through 2021 through 25. So this is the way the whole system is, the Excel spreadsheet is laid out. And again, this is 685,000 forecasts with the expanded version here. So with that, let's actually move on to the valve report. So this is Industrial Valves World Market with all the information and industry information around along the sides here. Then across the top, you can do searches. You've got an intelligence system. You've got updates. You've got networking directory where you can go in by any of these countries as we were companies as we were talking about here. And some of these have their own logins just as an extra protection here. But you can pick any country, any company, and you can get into any company within those, and you've got contacts and other information as well. So the networking directory is certainly of value as well. And then on the company analysis, you have market share rankings, and these are being updated. And so you go from number one, on down to several hundred. And we are updating these rankings on a regular basis. Now, going down the sides, we do have information that we're putting in, on a continuing basis here in terms of updates, market news. Then there's a lot of other useful information on the side here too. For the valve industry, certainly IIoT and remote O&M is a huge opportunity. And we do have a recorded webinar here and these PowerPoint slides that you can see that get into all the aspects of IIoT and how it is, with smart valves, is changing the potential profitability of the industry in a considerable way. And so this is just one of the webinars that is linked on the site. I'm just going to scroll through some of these things, give you an idea of the extensive nature of this particular analysis, and the opportunities certainly are immense for the valve companies, rather than just be a participant and having somebody else garner the major amounts of profits from the remote monitoring. Somebody like MRC is taking the ball and running with it and is able to get with MRC Valve Watch to get the revenues from not only the valves, but also from the monitoring itself. So this is a substantial benefit, I think, from the report, is to get all these different analyses that go along with it as well. And so just skip down a few more here. Desalination, for instance, here's another analysis that we've done of the China desalination market in terms of valves, and what is going to be needed there is the zero liquid discharge in the FGD is another opportunity there, and we mix the two together for the China desalination and zero liquid discharge. And this is some of the information in that particular discussion. And we do get into the individual industries, and you can see, metalworking, power, municipal water. For instance, if you go into the industry analysis, and you can go into insights and a few other things here, but this is a whole separate website. And if you go to MGD projections, for instance, here, and for 2020, you can see why we have the basis of making our forecasts in each one of these industries, because in the municipal water industry, it's the million gallons a day of water that's being moved, rural transport versus urban and so forth. In municipal wastewater, we get even more detail, and we do this for every country of the world. So that's part of the process as well. So I'd like to thank you for spending some time to learn a little bit about our valve report, and we certainly welcome your questions. And again, as I said before, I'd be happy to talk to you at any time. And this is Bob McIlvaine signing off. Oh, where's 16? Or 36? Yeah. Huh. Okay. Oh, damn. 16, 437. I suppose it's possible it's down at the bottom of my. Maybe I maybe get modified or just to make sure. Does it look like that? Big one. Yeah. Obviously didn't. So you got this stuff up here. Yeah. I think there was only 6 kilobytes or something. Yeah. Yeah. It must have. Maybe you hit record and stop at the same time accidentally. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll do it over again then.